Good afternoon and welcome to the Sullivan Center in Joliet, Illinois. We're at the University of St. Francis, who today, late in the season, has a non-conference tilt with East-West University coming to Joliet from downtown Chicago. First meeting of the year between these two foes. East-West, though, has been here before. They have played at St. Francis pretty much every year, and earlier this season they came out here for a holiday tournament. They didn't actually play the Fighting Saints in the game. St. Francis comes in with a record of 13-10. They've won 2 in a row in conference play, and today they open up a non-conference game with East-West with possession. Nadav Gerner, the point guard for St. Francis today, starting things off, going from right to left for the Fighting Saints. East-West in navy blue goes from left to right. Gerner finds Darius Wright on the back cut, but Wright misses the layup, a little bit too strong off the glass. Here come the Phantoms for the first time. East-West with Devine Conley on the outside firing a three. Conley misses, and it's out of bounds on East-West. Or on the Fighting Saints, sorry. The ball belongs to East-West here. So the Phantoms get another chance and quickly give it up. Traveling violation called against Elgin Bowen. And we're going the other way. Here's Aitor Anabadarte at the top of the key for St. Francis, passing off to E.J. Charles. Down low, Carter Fahey. Fahey backs in on Conley. Turnaround for Fahey, off the rim, no good. Rebound to East-West, to Qantas Jackson. Jackson sets it up, off to Caleb Thomas. Drive from Conley. Conley runs into traffic. The ball knocked out of his hands by Carter Fahey and pushed ahead by the Fighting Saints. Here's Nadav Gerner laying it up with the Qantas Jackson in tow. Gerner's able to finish for the first points of today's game. St. Francis takes a 2-0 lead here. Jackson passes off into the corner for Jaha Jackson. Gets it back. That's DeQuantis Jackson. Fadeaway from the baseline, misses. Rebound Fahey. Here's Darius Wright down the wing. Bounces up top to Carter Fahey. Inside to the cutting Wright, who lost it, got it back, and the Saints continue their possession. Half the shot clock gone for St. Francis. Here's Nadav Gerner slicing through the defense, stripped by DeQuantis Jackson. Loose ball picked up by Fahey, who gives it back to Gerner. And Nadav Gerner has the first 4 points of today's game. Gerner not typically a scorer for St. Francis. He starts pretty much every game. Averages just 3 points per game, though, and he's already surpassed that in just the first 2 minutes today. Off the hands of Conley and out of bounds. Thomas Teklegurgis tried to get him the ball, and Conley wasn't prepared for it. We saw that on the other end. Nadav Gerner seemed really surprised to get a pass coming his way. He thought Carter Fahey was going to shoot. Ended up dishing it off at the last second. It worked out for St. Francis. This time, Conley thought Teklegurgis was going to go up with it. Didn't, and it turns into a turnover. Aitor Anabadarte adds to St. Francis's lead. Anabadarte's first points of the game. He is the Fighting Saints' leading scorer this year. Came in averaging 16 points per contest. Caleb Thomas kicks it outside. Devine Conley. Just about 3 minutes in. East-West looking for their first points today. Teklegurgis inside. Finds Jaha Jackson double teamed and knocked out of his hands by E.J. Charles. St. Francis takes the ball once again. East-West struggling on the offensive end to start this afternoon's contest. Here's Fahey. Trying to get it to Charles. Pass a little bit overthrown, knocked away by Caleb Thomas. And East-West forces the turnover this time. Here's Teklegurgis. Straight through. Layup, no. Rebound, Anabadarte. St. Francis slows it down a tad. Ryan Marks doesn't want them to. Tells them to push the pace a bit. Down into the corner, E.J. Charles. Outside to a wide open Carter Fahey. And Fahey knocks home the three. Timeout called by East-West. 16:21 to play in the first half, and a great start for the Fighting Saints. They lead 9-0 early on, and They have found their offensive rhythm. East-West has not. Phantoms struggling to hold on to the ball right now, let alone knock down any shots. They've had trouble getting any shots to start today's game out. St. Francis got their first 4 from Nadav Gerner, and then Aitor Anabadarte got involved. Carter Fahey just moments ago hit the first 3-pointer of the game. Fighting Saints 4 of 6 from the field to open up today's game. East-West obviously hasn't hit a shot, but just to give some statistical evidence to the point that I just made, 0 for 3 from the field, 4 turnovers. So they're not hitting their shots, but more importantly, they're not getting a lot of shots. St. Francis is forcing them to give the ball up a little bit more often than they'd like to. Well, they'd like to never give it up. I don't know if I've ever seen a game with no turnovers, though, so you figure that's not going to happen ever. Thomas Tekla-Gurgis down to the corner. Conley for 3. That's good, and that's a big shot for East-West. Took them 4 minutes, but they're on the board. Devine Conley's 3-pointer pulls the Phantoms back within 6, right back where it was a moment ago. Nadav Gerner spins around to Qantas Jackson, gets inside and draws the foul. See if they give Gerner the shots here, as Jahad Jackson got in his way, called for the block. I believe it's on the floor. First foul of the game, and obviously the first on Jackson. Gerner says he was shooting. The officials disagree. So Gerner goes back down to the baseline, and he'll inbound instead of shooting. Fahey out of a double team, passes to Gerner. Nadav Gerner bounces down low to Carter Fahey, shoveled outside to E.J. Charles. Shot clock at 7 for Darius Wright, 3-pointer off the mark. Rebounded by Thomas Tekla-Gurgis. Handoff to DeQuantis Jackson trailing the play, and Jackson knocks down a 3. Back-to-back 3-pointers made by East-West, and very quickly they've turned a 9-0 score into just a 3-point game with 15:27 to play in the first half. 30-second timeout called by Ryan Marks. Fighting Saints in the midst of a heated conference season, but this is the second time in the last 3 weeks that they've taken a pause from the CCAC action to take on a non-conference opponent. In both cases outside of the NAIA. They fell to Lewis University back on January 25th, right here at the Pat Sullivan Center. And that was a Division II foe, NCAA Division II. East-West is affiliated with neither NCAA or NAIA. They play opponents from both levels, but their only official affiliation is the USCAA, which is the Small College Association. Into Aitor Anabadarte, knocked away from him, but Anabadarte touched it last before it went out. Nice play by Caleb Thomas to cause some trouble there, but get out of the way and make sure that it's out on the Fighting Saints. So East-West forces the turnover. They had all kinds of turnover problems over the first few minutes, but they've turned things around, and now they've got the ball with a chance to tie it up. They've hit 3-pointers on their last 2 possessions. Troy Cobb, number 24 in possession, passes off to Caleb Thomas. Thomas keeps it on the perimeter, crossing over on Gerner. Step back jumper, misses short. Rebound tipped around, Anabadarte pulls it in. Here comes E.J. Charles on the run. Charles streaking down the lane, stripped and fouled as he goes up for the shot. That one called on Devine Conley. And Charles will go to the line for 2 free throws. E.J. Charles is a 69% foul shooter. First free throw attempts of the game for either team. First foul shot misses from Charles as the Fighting Saints go to their bench for the first time. Justin Phillips checks in for Nadav Gerner. Aitor Anabadarte walks towards the bench, and Ben Kreitz checks in for him. Second free throw is good. That snaps a 6-0 East-West run. E.J. Charles is on the board, his first point today. 2-score lead for the home team. Thomas Tekla-Gurgis passes off to DeQuantis Jackson. Jackson is tripped up, and a blocking foul is called on St. Francis. Fahey called for his first. It's the first on the Fighting Saints. Tekla-Gurgis is the inbounder for East-West. Sends it into DeQuantis Jackson. Out to Caleb Thomas. Phantoms work around the perimeter. Cobb steps in on Kreitz into the corner. Tekla-Gurgis misses the three. And the rebound goes to Carter Fahey. Fahey pushes across the timeline. Picked up at the top of the key by Devine Conley. Bounced in for Kreitz and back outside. Nice fake from Fahey, but he couldn't keep the ball in his grip. Slipped out of bounds, and it belongs to East-West. An unforced turnover there. Good drive to start from Fahey, but then he just mishandled the ball. Another chance for East-West. Tekla-Gurgis drives around Charles back outside. Here's DeQuantis Jackson at the top for three. Wide open shot, and Jackson makes the Saints pay for giving it to him. Second three for DeQuantis Jackson. Third three-pointer made today by East-West. That accounts for all of their points. They were down 9-0, and now they're within one. Fighting Saints have gone a little while without scoring. It's been over 3 minutes for them. Kreitz over to Phillips. Deep three for Justin Phillips. Too strong. Rebound tipped out of bounds. Last touch by Troy Cobb. St. Francis trying to rediscover their offensive stroke. .20 on the shot clock as they'll inbound from the baseline. Phillips will be the trigger man here as soon as Tekla-Gurgis' shoes are tied. Into Charles. Lob down low. Fahey, double team. Passes out to Darius Wright. Open three. No good. Long rebound, Ben Kreitz. Fighting Saints reset here. Third chance of the possession. After grabbing that offensive rebound, Justin Phillips slices through a couple of defenders. Extra pass out to Wright. Three-pointer. Misses again. Fahey with the tip. That's off the mark. 4 missed chances for St. Francis on that possession. Their drought grows. DeQuantis Jackson stripped by Phillips out of bounds. Phillips says Jackson touched it last. That's not the call. It'll belong to East-West. 24 on the shot clock. Phantoms trying to take their first lead of the game. Already on a 9-1 run here. Inbounded to Troy Cobb. Nice fake by Thomas. Gets around Phillips. Little floater. Rolls around the rim but doesn't go. Rebound Kreitz, who's quickly fouled by Caleb Thomas. Third foul on the Phantoms. That is number 1 on Thomas. Ryan Marks goes back to his bench. Jake Carley and Lewis McGlasson are in. So Carter Fahey is the only starter who remains on the floor. McGlasson and Fahey work it across half court. St. Francis now over 4 minutes without a bucket, and that continues as Fahey misses the reverse layup attempt. DeQuantis Jackson on the wing, guarded by Carley. Bounces down low to Devine Conley. Back out to Jackson. Here's Tekla-Gurgis. Up top, Caleb Thomas. Half the shot clock gone. Good defense so far on this possession by St. Francis. East-West hasn't been able to get it inside. Conley now does work in on Kreitz. Blocked from behind by Ben Kreitz. Big defensive play by the sophomore. Knocked away by Thomas and somehow kept in bounds. In transition, Jackson knocks down the two. Make it a 3 for DeQuantis Jackson. His third 3 of the game. All of East-West's points have come from beyond the arc. And for the first time today, the Phantoms lead, coming off of the impressive steal from Caleb Thomas. Kreitz to respond. Misses the three-pointer. Rebound tipped into the hands of Troy Cobb. St. Francis led this game 9-0. DeQuantis Jackson misses the three. It remains a 12-10 lead for East-West. And the Fighting Saints desperately seeking some kind of offense here. Phillips all the way in, no good. He'll go to the line for 2 shots here. Saints are trying to kickstart their offense from the free throw line. E.J. Charles made 1 of 2 attempts on his trip. And now Phillips has his first opportunity. First shot is good. (12-2) is the current East-West run. Been a little over 5 minutes since St. Francis's last field goal, but again, they've had a couple of free throw opportunities since then, so they're keeping themselves in the game that way as Fahey checks out. Starting center Aitor Anabararte is back in. Phillips, like Charles before him, goes 1 of 2 from the line. Still a 1-point lead for East-West, who's hit 4 3-pointers today. This time DeQuanis Jackson drives and lays it in. Jackson had a good game against St. Francis last year when these teams met. He's having a good game again today. He has scored as many points all by himself as St. Francis has as a team. 11 for Jackson and a 3-point lead for the Phantoms. Jake Carley up top to Aitor Anabararte, poked away by Conley. Anabararte gets it back. Tough defense here. Anabararte needs to go somewhere, takes a dribble, strip, gets it back. Here's Jake Carley with the layup, it's good. So the scoring drought is over after 6 minutes without a field goal. Aitor Anabararte had to fight hard just to get that pass off. Devine Conley is playing some high-intensity defense. But ultimately, he was able to find Jake Carley. Carley picks up his first points today, first bench points for the Fighting Saints. Check that, Justin Phillips got the free throw as Anabararte is called for a foul on the floor.
St. Francis foul, number 21, Aitor Anabararte.
1-point lead for East-West. They trailed 9-0, went on a 14-2 run. And now St. Francis, fresh off a field goal, is trying to come up with a stop. Get the ball back so they can take the lead. Jackson too strong off the glass, misses the layup. And at the halfway point of the first half, St. Francis does have the chance to reclaim the lead that they've held for most of the game so far. McGlasson over to Phillips. Up top, Jake Carley. Carley lobs it to the high post. Aitor Anabararte flinging it outside. Wide open Phillips misses the 3. 3-point shooting has been the difference in today's game. East-West has been good from the outside. St. Francis has not. Carter Fahey has the lone 3-pointer of the game for the Fighting Saints as Caleb Thomas misses on the 2-point jumper. And Justin Phillips is on the run. Carley for 3. And there's a made 3-pointer for the Fighting Saints. They had been just 1 of their previous 7 from beyond the arc, but Jake Carley puts them back on top. So the lead returns to the team that scored the first 9 points of the game, and now it's East-West, who's in a bit of a drought. 3-point attempt from the right wing is good for Dario Biaggi. And East-West is back in front. The lead has gone back and forth here in the first half. 1-point advantage to the visitors. I mentioned St. Francis has struggled from the outside. East-West, after making that 3, is now 5 of 8 as a team. Good drive by Justin Phillips, who lays it in off the backboard. And again, the lead changes hands. 4th lead change of the first half. We're a little slow to get going in this game, but the last few minutes things have opened up. A little bit more scoring, better flow to this one. Tekla Gerges passes off to Caleb Thomas. Biaggi, another 3-point attempt, and he hits again. 2 in a row for Dario Biaggi. East-West now 6 of 9 from 3-point range. They've scored 90% of their points that way. Ben Kreitz gets it across half court. Now trapped, ball knocked away and out of bounds. St. Francis ball. 7:59 to play in the first half. Great start today for the Fighting Saints. They weren't able to keep it going. But lately the two teams have been trading buckets as Carter Fahey comes on for Ben Kreitz. Lewis McGlasson will inbound. Starters starting to trickle back into the game for St. Francis. Nice job by Carly to split the defense. Out to Anabadarte. Aitor drives up with the right hand. No good. Rebounded by Conley and East-West. Biggest lead for the Phantoms in this first half has been 3. Trying to extend that to 4 or 5 on this possession. Biaggi's hit 2 in a row from the outside. This time he's got the long arms of Aitor Anabadarte in his way and has to pass it off. Daquanis Jackson's been the best player in the game tonight, 11 points so far. Looking to add 2 more. He does as he blows right by Lewis McGlasson. And Daquanis Jackson has 13 for East-West. 4-point lead for the Phantoms. Jake Carly spins around Jackson, gets inside and throws it away. It's intercepted by Danye Grant. Grant pulls up just inside the 3-point arc, sets up Biaggi. Biaggi is feeling it from the outside, but ever since he hit his second consecutive 3-pointer, every time he's caught the ball outside, Fighting Saints have had a man right in his face. Divine Conley steps inside the arc, misses the jumper long, and Carly tracks down the rebound. Since their hot start, St. Francis has been outscored 22-9. Inside Anabadarte, triple team, back out to the wide open shooter. McGlasson continues the struggles from the outside for St. Francis, misses the 3, and Aitor Anabadarte is called for going over the back. And that's the second foul on Aitor Anabadarte, who has just 2 points in the first half, and now is in foul trouble. Gerner, Charles, Darius Wright back in the game, so all 5 starters are on the floor for the Saints. Ryan Marks keeps Anabadarte out there with his 2 fouls. Tekla Gergis passes off to Daquanis Jackson around the Biaggi screen, gives it to Dario Biaggi, and this time he misses short on the 3-pointer. Got a good look that time. Foul called on Divine Conley. A little overzealous defensively, trying to take the ball away from E.J. Charles. 2 fouls on Conley, that's number 5 on East-West. Nadav Gerner across half court, walks it to his right, lobs it inside for Carter Fahey. Fahey across to Charles. E.J. Charles along the baseline. Hounded by 3 defenders, tries to get a shot off, but it was stripped by Tekla Gergis, and Conley throws it out of bounds. Fighting Saints catch a break after the good defensive play from East-West. They're not able to turn it into offense. St. Francis ball from the sideline. E.J. Charles set to inbound. Finds Anabadarte at the free throw line. Nice fake from Anabadarte. He drives and he's fouled going up. Shot counts. He didn't hit it, but he'll go to the line for 2 free throws. Number 6 on East-West, so they've hit their foul limit for the first half. Timeout called by East-West. It's a 30-second timeout. They lead St. Francis 22-18. The way this game started, it looked like it might be a cakewalk for the Fighting Saints today. It has been anything but. They scored 9 points in the first 3.5 minutes. They've scored just 9 points in 11 minutes since then. And East-West's pressure defense has really given them fits. It's not just a full court pressure defense, it's a high pressure defense in the front court. And it hasn't helped that the Fighting Saints just haven't had a shooting touch today. From 3-point range, they started just 1 of 7 and are now 2 of 9 for the game. They've hit 5 of 9 shots from inside the arc. It's just those outside shots that aren't falling for them. They're at 50% from the free throw line. Aitor Anabadarte much better than that himself for the season, over 80%. He knocks down the first. 3 points for Anabadarte. Second foul shot is good. He's got 4. The deficit is just 2. Cross half court, Tekla Gerges down to the corner for Conley, off his hands, and picked off by Anna Bedarte. Turnovers were a problem the first several minutes today for East West. They've been protecting the basketball better of late, but that's their second consecutive turnover. Charles bounces it off the foot of Biaggi. Still St. Francis ball, 5:19 to play in the half, 20 on the shot clock. Jahad Jackson is back on the floor for East West as the inbounds pass comes to Anna Bedarte. He twists his body, misses the shot. Second chance, Anna Bedarte is good. Got his own rebound there and is able to finish on the second effort. 22-22 our score. Inside Jackson, blocked by Anna Bedarte. Right out to Dario Biaggi. Inside Jackson is stripped. That's Jahad Jackson who is stripped and fouled by Nadav Gerner. Number 4 on the Fighting Saints. Dario Biaggi is the inbounder. Into Danye Grant. Jackson, guarded outside by E.J. Charles, finds Conley, who steps into a three. Conley misses off the back rim. Rebound tipped around, and Gerner finally pulls it in. Good outlet pass to E.J. Charles. Saints want to score in transition, but East West defense has gotten back. Here's Anna Bedarte off the feed from Carter Fahey, throwing it down. Aitor Anna Bedarte is heating up. He's got 8 points, 6 of them just in the last minute and a half. St. Francis is back in the lead. Our 6th lead change of the game. Conley trying to give us number 7. Misses the three-pointer short. Rebounded by Gerner. No rebound. There's an over-the-back foul called on Jahad Jackson, playing behind Aitor Anna Bedarte. Second foul on Jackson. And that's number 7 on East West. So Anna Bedarte gets to march to the other end of the floor and shoot free throws, or at least one free throw. He's 2 of 2 from the line today. 83% this year, 1-1. He tries to become the first Fighting Saint into double figures. He misses the front end. Carter Fahey is fouled going up for the rebound and came down hard, I think on his elbow. You could hear the sound of bone hitting the floor, and he's walking it off. I'm not sure what he landed on first. Again, I thought it looked like his elbow. He's not really favoring the arm, though, as he walks around. Whatever it was he landed on, it didn't look terribly comfortable, but he seems to be feeling okay, at least okay enough to hang around and shoot his free throws here. So Aitor Anna Bedarte missed the front end of his 1-1, but now Fahey gets the same opportunity, looking to expand on the 2-point lead. And he misses as well. Free throw shooting not good so far today for the Fighting Saints. Daquanis Jackson steps to his right, fires a three, and makes it. Jackson's hitting everything right now. East West is back in front. 16 points for Daquanis Jackson. He's made 4 3-pointers. And now Carter Fahey is departing, and he is holding that left arm at the moment. So hopefully he's all right. But Ben Kreitz is back on the floor for now. Looking to break the full court press. Anna Bedarte gets it across to Darius Wright. Lob for Charles, who finishes the alley-oop. Cobb fires it outside Biaggi along the baseline. Back out to Troy Cobb. 3-point attempt, misses short from Elgin Bowen. And St. Francis has the ball with the lead here. Darius Wright loses the ball, though. Picked up by Biaggi. Lobbed ahead for Jahad Jackson. Layup is good. East-West 27, St. Francis 26. Our 9th lead change of the first half. 3 minutes to play before intermission. Charles is double team stripped. Gets it right back. No change in possession. Shot clock continues to run for St. Francis. Anabadarte's got 8 points to lead the Saints. He passes off to Charles, and E.J. Charles knocks down the three. Charles is heating up. A big dunk, and now a three-pointer. He's got 6 points in the game. St. Francis has the lead. DeQuanis Jackson trying to answer, blocked by Darius Wright. Charles ahead for Wright. Darius Wright bounces it off the foot of Bowen out of bounds. He was looking for Nadav Gerner, cutting from the backside. 24 on the shot clock. St. Francis will start it over on an inbounds play. Gerner lobs it in for Anabadarte. Up over 2 defenders. Aitor Anabadarte scores again. He's got 10. (31-27) St. Francis. Jackson can't make it a 1-point game. Rebounded by Anabadarte. Biggest lead for the Fighting Saints has been 9. They're trying to build it up to that again. Anabadarte spins around Cobb and lays it in. 12 points for Aitor Anabadarte. He has stepped up in the absence of Carter Fahey these last few minutes. Inside, Jahad Jackson, blocked by Gerner, gets it back and scores on the second effort. Good stick-to-itiveness from Jahad Jackson. 4 points for him. Darius Wright down to the corner. Bounced out to Gerner. Here's E.J. Charles working against Biaggi. Bounced outside, Gerner. Gerner streaks to the hoop. Nice pass to Anabadarte, who's fouled, going to the rim. Good ball movement by the Fighting Saints. Leads to the free throws for Aitor Anabadarte. Dario Biaggi's second foul. 2 foul shots here for Anabadarte, who's 2 of 3 from the line. Leads the team with 12 points. There's number 13 off the first free throw. Second shot is good. Off the front rim, gets the roll. 84 seconds to play in the half. St. Francis has regained control. Dominant start for St. Francis. They led 9-0. Since then, we've seen the lead change hands 10 times. It's gone back and forth. 3-point attempt. Misses short from Elgin Bowen. E.J. Charles goes high for the rebound. Charles races by a couple of defenders, and he's fouled. Good drive by E.J. Charles. Got himself into the front court with a full head of steam. And just kept on going rather than pull it out and try to set up the offense. He got himself to the basket, and DeQuanis Jackson is called for his first foul. 16 points for Jackson. But he's gone quiet of late, and that's allowed the Saints to create a little distance. Not too much distance. So they continue to struggle from the free throw line. Just 6 of 11 as a team today. That includes missing the first of a 1-and-1 twice. Charles does make the second. 7-point lead. Anabadarte checks out. He's been playing with 2 fouls, been playing well for the last 5 minutes with 2 fouls. So Ryan Marks will protect the center in foul trouble for the final minute of the half here with Ibrahim Mobayad checking in. Jackson picks the ball up and immediately moves off to his right. Pass inside is deflected, pinballs around and kept alive by Elgin Bowen. Biaggi has hit 2 threes today, make it 3. It snaps the St. Francis run at 8 points. 9 seconds between shot and game clocks here. Kreitz over to Charles. Cross court, Ben Kreitz for three. Not able to answer the Biaggi shot on the other end, but an offensive rebound for Ibrahim Mobayed. And the Fighting Saints will hold on for the final shot of the half. Nadav Gerner works against Bowen. Gerner drives, loses the ball from the floor, tries to get it back, but it trickles out of bounds. A turnover for St. Francis with 4.5 seconds left. East-West will try to take the final shot here. Picked up by DeQuanis Jackson. Jackson across half court, fires to Cobb. Cobb gets it off before the buzzer, misses the three, and it's halftime. Great start for St. Francis. They led 9-0. East-West fought back. They took the lead. The lead changed hands again and again. And finally, St. Francis went on a little run towards the end of the first half to put themselves back in front. So as we head to halftime, our score is the Fighting Saints 36 and the Phantoms 32. Back in about 15 minutes with some first half stats. We'll get you prepped for half number 2 as St. Francis looks for their 3rd straight win.
really don't want to do that on Tuesday night.
He's the popular player, or is that?
No, he's
yeah.
But he is. All he needs
St. Francis and East West at halftime, and we're just a minute away from the start of the second half. Terry Bonadonna with you once again as we take a look at some of the first half stats. St. Francis built a big early lead. They lost it, and we ended up going back and forth. 10 lead changes in the first half. The score was tied one time. St. Francis leads by 4 at the moment, behind 50% shooting overall. East West just 36%, but they've stayed in the game by going 8 of 18 from three-point range. The Fighting Saints have gone just 3 of 11 from beyond the arc. Leading scorers today for East West, Daquanis Jackson has 16 points. And for St. Francis, Aitor Anabadarte has 14 and is on pace for another double-double today. He's also got a team-leading 6 rebounds. Carter Fahey has 6 rebounds as well. He left this game with about 5 minutes to go before halftime after he came down hard on a rebound attempt. We'll see if he's able to go in the second half. Otherwise, it was Ben Kreitz who took his place the rest of the first half. East West is on the floor. They've got a few subs to go along with a couple of starters. The only starters on the floor are Daquanis Jackson and Thomas Teklegurgis. Dario Biaggi is out there along with Elgin Bowen. And for the first time today, we get a look at Ashraf Yakubu. Rehana Maxwell Topia is on the floor to start the second half for St. Francis instead of Carter Fahey, as East West turns it over very quickly to start this half. Darius Wright on the layup. It's good. So Darius Wright gets the scoring started in the second half. 38-32 our score, 24 seconds in. Teklegurgis around the screen, fouled on the shot. So he'll go to the line for 2 free throws. Again, Rehana Maxwell Topia is out there to start the second half after Carter Fahey left with an injury late in the first half. Maxwell Topia played a lot of minutes earlier in the season, but he's pretty much fallen out of the rotation of late. Getting a little run here to start the second half, but he might be gone after just 30 seconds. Kazmir Ochiaka is at the scorer's table, and he does check in. First time we've seen Ochiaka today. Typically one of the first guys off the bench for Ryan Marks. One more free throw for Teklegurgis, and he misses them both. 7th rebound of the game for Aitor Anabadarte. Anabadarte bounces to Ochiaka. Passed off to Nadav Gerner. Down low, Anabadarte working against Biaggi. Kicks it outside. Three-pointer for Darius Wright misses. And the rebound grabbed by Teklegurgis. Thomas Teklegurgis crosses over on Darius Wright. Passes back to Daquanis Jackson, who misses the jumper. And we got a foul on E.J. Charles here, fighting with Ashraf Yakubu for the rebound.
Foul on number 14, E.J. Charles, his first, team second.
First foul on Charles. St. Francis committed only 4 fouls as a team in the first half, and just 64 seconds into the second half, already 2 on them. Aitor Anabadarte is playing with 2 fouls as Biaggi steps into a 3 and misses it. Rebounded by Ochiaka, who loses the ball going out of bounds. Daquanis Jackson lays it in. Ochiaka started to lose his balance after he came down with that rebound, so he tried to get the ball off to Darius Wright before going out of bounds, and it turned out for St. Francis that it would have been better if he just had fallen out. At least East West would have been forced to set up their offense instead of getting the easy points off the turnover. Aitor Anabadarte hits the 3. First points of the second half for Anabadarte. He's got 17 now for the game. He and Daquanis Jackson trading blows. Jackson hit the layup on the previous possession for East West. He's got a game-high 18 points. Here's Elgin Bowen. Took it into the paint and back outside, chased all the way by E.J. Charles. Bowen around the screen, gives it up to Jackson. 4 to shoot. Jackson loses the ball. Just slipped out of his hands. Here's Darius Wright going 2-on-2. Tried to give it up to E.J. Charles, but didn't get it there. Elgin Bowen knocked it loose, and Thomas Teklegurgis takes it the other direction. 3-pointer from the corner off the top of the backboard from Bowen, and this time Ochiaka does keep his footing as he pulls in that rebound. Right, kicks it outside to Gerner. Nadav Gerner penetrates, kicks it to an open shooter. Anabanarte, 2 in a row. Aitor Anabanarte has 20. And the lead is now a game-high 10 for the Fighting Saints. They opened up the first half on a 9-0 run, 8-2 to start the second half. Thomas Tekla-Gergis rolls that one in and gets East West back on the board at a crucial moment. That's a big shot from Tekla-Gergis. 3 minutes gone in the second half. Already a lot of action here since halftime. Darius Wright trying to add some more. Three-pointer rims out. Rebound chased down by Daquanis Jackson. Jackson was hot early. He made 4 3-pointers in the first half. Biaggi streaks through the defense. No good with Anabanarte closing in from behind. Dario Biaggi has hit 3 3-pointers today. That's the first time we've seen him try to take the ball inside to no avail. Charles from the corner misses the 3. Long rebound to Ashraf Yakubu. Bounced ahead for Biaggi. Layup is blocked by Anabanarte. East-West wants a goaltend. No such luck. Nadav Gerner's pass goes through the hands of Darius Wright off the referee. It's a live ball ahead to Biaggi. He's fouled and scores. Weird sequence right there. Gerner trying to find Darius Wright. The pass was a little bit behind Wright. He had to adjust to try to pull it in and couldn't. And it ended up bouncing off the official behind him. The referee is considered a part of the floor, which always sounds so demeaning to referees every time I say it, but it is written that way. I believe it's written that way in the rule book. So the ball was live, and it set up a fast break for Dario Biaggi, who just a few seconds ago I mentioned has only taken shots from outside. Now he's laid up shots on 3 straight possessions. That's the first time he's made one, but he turned it into a 3-point play anyway. 12 points for Biaggi. Aitor Anabanarte is fouled on the floor. Divine Conley is called for the blocking foul and also I think got the worst of that confrontation with Anabanarte. Officials will talk it over to see if the shot should count, and they've waved it off. So it'll be an inbounds play for St. Francis. No shot on the foul. First foul of the half on East-West. 15:55 to go in this game.
East-West foul called on number 20, Divine Conley. His third, team's first, and his
Third foul on Divine Conley. Conley played big minutes in the first half. Just checked in for the first time in the second half. Immediately picked up a foul. Rehana Maxwell-Topia is back in for Kazmir Ochiaka. Carter Fahey is back on the bench. He was still in the locker room to start the second half, but he came back out to rejoin the team as Anabanarte lays it up and in. 22 for him. Again, Fahey has returned to the bench, but apparently will not return to action as Jackson's shot is swatted away and out of bounds along the sideline. With Fahey out, Anabanarte has stepped up his game. The majority of these 22 points have come since the injury. Biaggi bounces into the corner for Tekla-Gergis. Thomas Tekla-Gergis layup, can't get the bounce. Rebounded by Anabanarte, and he's immediately fouled by Grant. First foul on Danye Grant, second on the team. St. Francis has a 7-point lead. East-West has been able to keep up with the Fighting Saints. But the Fighting Saints, at least since that crazy back and forth in the first half, have seemed to have taken control, and Rehana Maxwell-Topia keeps the good times rolling for St. Francis. What a move to set up the drive and a chance at a 3-point play. Third foul on Dario Biaggi, and Maxwell-Topia, who, as I mentioned before, really has not seen the floor very much of late. He's making the most of some playing time today. His free throw misses, so he'll settle for just the 2 points. And Maxwell-Topia had scored just 16 points this year coming in after playing a much bigger role in the lineup in his freshman and sophomore years. Daquanis Jackson fighting for space, can't find any. Finally gives it up to Troy Cobb, and Cobb misses the jumper. Rebounded by Charles. Here comes Nadav Gerner to a cutting Maxwell Topia, who's fouled on the floor. Rehana Maxwell Topia getting himself some action here. Second time in a row that he's been fouled on his way to the hoop. Last time he was able to finish the shot. This time foul came before the shot. Gerner into E.J. Charles, who lays it in. Nice curl from Charles to free himself up. And the Fighting Saints have their biggest lead, 50-39, with about 14 and a half minutes to play. 9 points for E.J. Charles. Danye Grant kicks it outside. This is Cobb for three, in and out. Would have been a big shot for East-West if it had fallen. Instead, St. Francis has the ball with a chance to add even further to a double-digit lead. Nadav Gerner steps behind the arc and misses the three. Gerner scored the first 4 points of the game. That was his first field goal attempt since then. Unsuccessful on the jumper. Here's Cobb, out to Jackson. With the shot clock under 10, Daquanis Jackson fires a three and drains it right in the face of Rehana Maxwell Topia. The latter took a half step back, and Jackson was quick to take advantage. 21 points for Daquanis Jackson. Inside Charles, back up top, Maxwell Topia for three, got it. 5 points for Rehana Maxwell Topia. The lead is back to 11 as he responds to the Jackson three on the other end of the floor. Dario Biaggi has hit 3 3-pointers today, trying to make it 4. He does. 15 points for Biaggi. He didn't get the start today, but ever since coming in about halfway through the first period, I don't think he has sat down. He has been a huge offensive contributor for East-West today. Daquanis Jackson is called for the reach-in foul on Darius Wright. And Jackson picks up his second.
Jackson is second, team's fifth.
Shot clock at 21 for St. Francis as E.J. Charles will inbound. Maxwell Topia bounces to the cutting Nadav Gerner, who lays it in. Beautiful play from the Fighting Saints. Gerner's got 6. Maxwell Topia really playing well on the offensive end, but has no answer defensively for Dario Biaggi, who hits his 5th 3-pointer. He also hit a layup and a free throw, so he's got 6 3-point plays today. 18 points for him. He and Daquanis Jackson have combined for 39 of their team's 48. Charles over to Gerner. Back to E.J. Charles. Tries to respond with a 3-pointer of his own, but it misses. And here come the Phantoms. East-West hasn't made a run yet this second half, but they've kept it close. Another chance for Biaggi. This time he was too far out as he misses it short. Aitor Anabararte knocks it out of the hands of Kurt Shannon out of bounds. Still belongs to East-West. Jahad Jackson makes his first appearance of the second half, as does Justin Phillips for St. Francis. Gerner and Wright come out. Jake Carley back into the game for the Saints. Troy Cobb off the inbounds play, turned away by Aitor Anabararte. On the offensive end, Anabararte finds Phillips. Down low, Maxwell Topia, pass deflected, and Biaggi comes up with the steal. East-West had a little bit of trouble initially, but ultimately they are able to get it across half court. Daquanis Jackson drives to his right and misses the layup, but he's fouled. And Jackson will go to the line. .21 points in the ballgame for Daquanis Jackson. These are his first attempts from the free throw line, as Rehana Maxwell Topia is called for his first foul. Jackson's first attempt is good. The lead is down to 6 for St. Francis. It was 4 at halftime. Ochiaka is back in for Anabadarte. Jackson makes both free throws, so he's got 23. He's now leading all scorers in this game. East-West puts on the full court press. Maxwell Topia struggling to get it across half court. Finally does as he flicks it over to Ochiaka. Carly in the corner. Misses short on the three-pointer. Rebound tipped and kept alive by the Phantoms. Cobb fires it down the floor for Jackson. One-on-one. Gets by Phillips but misses the layup. Jaha Jackson misses the putback. And Carly comes down with the rebound but immediately loses it. Second chance for Jackson is good. That's DeQuanis Jackson. And he's got 25 points. So DeQuanis Jackson missed. Jaha Jackson missed. Saints appeared to clear it, but they turned it over. Now they turn it over again. DeQuanis Jackson lays it up and in. Timeout St. Francis. 55-54, and for the second time today, East-West has proven that they won't go down quietly. They started this game trailing 9-0. Fought back during a run of 6+ minutes in which St. Francis did not get a field goal. Ended up taking the lead. They went back and forth, exchanging leads, 10 lead changes in that first half. But then St. Francis seemed to have taken control. They started to pull away, built the lead here in the second half up to 11 points. And East-West has cut it back down to 1. 10:45 to play in the half. And the play of DeQuanis Jackson has been reason number one in both cases that East-West has been able to mount their comebacks. He's up to 27 points for the game. And the last couple of buckets came off of St. Francis turnovers. One of those turnovers occurred after back-to-back missed shots for East-West following an offensive rebound. It seemed like St. Francis had cleared it, but immediately coughed it back up. Fighting Saints have turned it over 14 times now. After that East-West basket, the Phantoms put on a press, and that led to St. Francis throwing it away again. East-West has turned it over only 8 times in this game. And that's been big for them. +6 in the turnover department. That'll cure a lot of ills. Even though they've been outplayed in a number of other facets, turnovers continue to keep them in it. DeQuanis Jackson gets another steal, 15th turnover of the game. Dario Biaggi with the offensive rebound, misses the second chance, knocked out of bounds. St. Francis ball. East-West's bench furious that they were not granted possession, but they did have a couple of chances on that possession and weren't able to capitalize off the turnover. Now can St. Francis get it across half court finally? They do. First time in 4 possessions they've been able to cross the timeline. They had turned it over in the backcourt 3 straight times. 11 on the shot clock for Casimir Ochiaka. Handoff to Carly. Jake Carly cuts in, kicks out. Maxwell Topia knocks down the 3. And the lead is back up to 4 for the Fighting Saints. More than halfway through this second half. Starting to get late here. The game remains close. DeQuanis Jackson guarded by Justin Phillips. Bounces it off to Biaggi. Biaggi working one-on-one with Jake Carly. Carly punches it away. Got a little bit too much of the ball handler in the process. Defensive foul called on Jake Carly. His first, the 5th on the team. Jackson bounces it back towards half court. Waits for the Troy Cobb screen and now makes his move with 12 to shoot. Cobb for 3, tie game. Check that, 1-point game still, a lead for St. Francis. But Cobb did make the 3-pointer. It's not quite a 4-pointer, that's all. Maxwell Topia throws it away. He was looking for Phillips. Phillips thought he was going to Carly. And the Saints continue to have massive problems solving the east-west press. Another Fighting Saints turnover. They've got more than double the number of turnovers that the Phantoms have now as Ryan Marks brings in a new front court. Aitor Anabararte and Ben Kreitz check in. Ochiaka and Maxwell Topia head out. East-West has not led in the second half. That could change on this possession. Jackson, pull-up jumper, good, and they do have the lead. 29 for DeQuanis Jackson. Under 9 minutes to play in this game. E.J. Charles gets it out to Phillips. Ben Kreitz all alone for three, and the lead goes back to St. Francis. First points of the game for Kreitz, 61-59 Fighting Saints. 12 lead changes in this one. All but the last two occurred in the first half. Jackson is working head-to-head with Aitor Anabararte here. Jackson blows by him, but Aitor Anabararte responds with a block from behind. Those have been the two best players on the floor during today's game. Jackson, the point guard for East-West, Anabararte, the center for St. Francis, so it's rare they get an actual head-to-head matchup, but East-West couldn't take advantage of the mismatch there. Inside Jackson, blocked by Kreitz. Ball loose and picked up by East-West as Kurt Shannon is able to score on the second chance. Second time we've been tied today, 61 all. Anabararte is stripped by Jackson and a foul called, number 3 on DeQuanis Jackson. Fighting Saints brought some of their starters back on the floor, and immediately they're having a little bit more success with the press. You got to think for Rihanna Maxwell Topia, it's a little bit difficult. He hasn't played in a few weeks. Immediately thrown into a high-pressure situation like that, had trouble with it. Anabararte, a little bit more success as he's fouled for the second time in a row. That one on Troy Cobb, and that's number 7 on the Phantoms. So Anabararte will get a free throw or two here. Timeout called, 8:02 to play in the second half. St. Francis 61, East-West 61. There are multiple occasions in this game that you could point to and say, this game's probably not going to be very close. St. Francis should have a runaway. And it's never worked out that way. East-West has had a lot of fight in them. Going back to the first half, when the Saints led 9-0, of course, at that stage in the game, just a few minutes in, you would never stop to think that it's over, but anytime one team jumps out to a 9-0 lead, it kind of speaks to the mentality coming in. East-West mentality, though, has been very strong ever since, able to erase that. And then when it looked like St. Francis had reestablished dominance in the second half, East-West didn't let them pull away. And part of that has to do with the injury that the Fighting Saints sustained in the first half. Carter Fahey is the second leading scorer for the team this year. He's been down, hasn't been able to play in the second half, which has put a little crimp on the depth of the Fighting Saints, especially in the front court. Aitor Anabararte has been dominant when he's been out there, but when he sat down for a rest, the game turned around completely. Anabararte is back out there now, and barring an injury or a foul situation, I don't think we're going to see him on the bench much the rest of the way. He's had a huge game, 22 points, 8 rebounds, 3 blocks for the junior from Spain. And now a 1-on-1 free throw opportunity at his hands coming out of the timeout. Anabararte is 5 of 6 from the line now as he makes the first. Try to make it 6 of 7 on this next opportunity. St. Francis is back in the lead. No lead, though, has been safe in this game. 2 points, a little bit safer than a 1-point lead. 63-61. DeQuanis Jackson lets it roll to half court before picking it up. Jackson sitting on 29 points. Pull-up jumper, misses. Rebound tipped by Anabararte into the hands of Nadav Gerner. Justin Phillips on the run, kicks it out to Carly. Phillips at the top, drives, puts it up off the glass and in. Fouled by Jackson, And Justin Phillips can make it a three-point play.
Foul call on number 1, Jaquanis Jackson, his 4th, team's 8th.
Fourth foul on Daquanis Jackson. That's huge. 29 points this afternoon for East West. They can ill afford to lose him to a 5th foul as Phillips misses the free throw and the Phantoms get the rebound. Jackson sets things up. Lobs it for Shannon. Jaha Jackson back to Daquanis Jackson with 10 to shoot. Bounced in for Jaha Jackson, is deflected by Phillips. St. Francis gets the steal, and now they slow it down a bit. They found themselves trailing here in the second half. Now they look to extend the lead to 7, but Kreitz misses the three-pointer, knocked out of bounds and last touched by Nadav Gerner. .7:06 to go. Fighting Saints still have not been having a lot of success shooting from the outside. East West has been better from three-point range. Saints have hit a third of their attempts today. But it seems like every time St. Francis is ready to go on a big run, East West has a comeback. Biaggi off the glass, no good. Either they get a big defensive stop or a big shot, or St. Francis makes a mistake. Right now, still a 4-point lead for the Saints. Anabadarte tries to extend it, and he does with the layup. Nice step inside to get around the defenders. 26 for Aitor. Daquanis Jackson loses it out of bounds. Last touch by the Saints. Inbounded to Biaggi, bounced right back to Daquanis Jackson. Jackson bounces it outside. Divine Conley is blocked and fouled. No foul. They call it a jump ball. Possession arrow to the Fighting Saints. Another empty possession for East West. The Phantoms have picked a bad time to go cold. They need a stop right here. Carley on the wing. Up top to Gerner. One dribble, he finds Justin Phillips. Phillips has it poked away from behind by Shannon. East West on the offensive end. Divine Conley steps back, sends it inside. Shannon off the glass and in. Kurt Shannon has his second field goal today. 67-63 the score. Nadav Gerner into a trap across half court, able to blow by Biaggi. Kept alive into the corner. Carley for three, no. Rebound still loose and finally brought in by Divine Conley. Biaggi fires inside. Conley in traffic, poked away by Gerner, but right into the hands of Dario Biaggi, who misses on the follow. No good. Shannon went over the back of Aitor Anabadarte, tipped it in, but he's called for the loose ball foul, so instead of 2 points for East West, we're going to get a 1-and-1 on the other end for St. Francis. .508 to play, 67-63, a 4-point lead for the Fighting Saints. Aitor Anabadarte back to the line. Big game so far for Anabadarte, and he looks to add on further with a 1-and-1. Darius Wright and E.J. Charles come in for the Saints. Phillips and Carley depart. Anabadarte 6 of 7 from the line so far this afternoon. Free throw is good. He'll get another. Second shot is good. (69-63), 5 minutes left. Daquanis Jackson fires a quick three and hits. 32 for Daquanis Jackson. He is almost single-handedly keeping East-West alive in this game. He and Dario Biaggi have been spectacular. Darius Wright bounces to Aitor Anabararte, who misses the layup, knocked out of bounds, last touched by East-West. 17 on the shot clock. So apparently the shot from Anabararte did not hit the rim. Gerner inbounds to Aitor Anabararte, who this time does lay it in. He's got 30. Biaggi, quick three. Misses it this time, and it's rebounded by E.J. Charles. That's a shot that Biaggi has been hitting all game. 5 made three-pointers, and he got his feet set for an open look. Saints are fortunate he missed it, and now Darius Wright blocked and fouled on the follow-through. Kurt Shannon called for the foul. Darius Wright went down hard. Hopefully he's all right. First foul on Shannon. Fighting Saints are into the double bonus. Fighting Saints are already down Carter Fahey after a first-half injury. I don't want to lose Darius Wright. In fact, happened to Fahey the same way. Came down hard after a foul. Wright seems to be doing okay. He'll take 2 free throws. Wright makes the first foul shot. (72-66). Second shot is good. Wright makes them both. The lead is back to 7. It's been as big as 11. Around a screen from Conley. Daquanis Jackson steps back. Another three. Off the rim this time. Rebounded by E.J. Charles. Darius Wright lobs it for Charles, and this time he lays it in. Second alley-oop to E.J. Charles today. This time a soft touch off the glass. 11 points for E.J. Charles. The lead is back to 9. East-West needs a basket. Biaggi steps back for 3, and he's fouled by Charles. Got him on the arm, so Dario Biaggi goes to the line for 3 shots. Well, I said they needed a basket. They might get 3 of them here for 1 point each. But we're getting late in the game. And the Phantoms are starting to fade a little bit. This is a big opportunity for them to put themselves back on track. But the first free throw misses. Biaggi 1 of 2 from the line. Caleb Thomas is back in for Kurt Shannon. He makes the second. 1 of 2 so far. 1 more shot coming up. Biaggi makes just 1 of 3. And Nadav Gerner comes away with the rebound. Missed opportunity for East-West. Darius Wright on the outside. Looks inside, nobody there. Gets it out to Ben Kreitz instead. Charles, back to Kreitz. Biaggi knocks the pass away. Charles gets it back, finds Anabararte in the post. Aitor Anabararte fighting inside, no good. Looking for his own rebound, and he's fouled trying to grab it. Loose ball foul on East-West, and a technical on East-West as well. The Phantoms have been getting a little chirpy at the officiating of late, and this time it costs them. An 8-point lead, and the Fighting Saints can go a long way towards putting this game on ice now. as Aitor Anabatarte will get 4 free throws. There's a 2-shot foul because the Fighting Saints are in the double bonus. And then 2 more for the technical foul after the play. And he makes the first. He was the one fouled. He's also the best free throw shooter on the team, so he'll take all 4. Makes the first 2. Now the rebounders will come down as he tries to add a couple more. 32 points in the ball game for Aitor Anabatarte. With Carter Fahey out hurt, Anabatarte has really stepped up his game. He had 14 points on 5 of 7 shooting in the first half. 18 more points so far in the second half, and he's done a lot of his work from the free throw line here. 3 in a row so far. This matches the biggest lead of the game for the Fighting Saints. And here comes one more. That makes it a 12-point lead. 34 for Aitor Anabatarte. Now once again, East-West needs some points here. They got 1 on their last possession. Daquanis Jackson blows by a couple of defenders, blocked from behind by Anabatarte. But goaltending is the call. So that'll count. Jackson and Anabatarte continue to keep pace with one another. 34 points for both men. 10-point game. Gerner just barely got it across half court in enough time. They were running up against a 10-second violation. Five on the shot clock. Kreitz pass is intercepted by Jaha Jackson. Biaggi for 3. No good. Rebound, Jaha Jackson back up with a layup. And a big sequence for Jackson. He gets the layup after getting a steal on the other end. An offensive rebound, a bucket, and a foul called on the layup as well. So Jaha Jackson will get a chance for a free throw here. Great sequence for him on the defensive end, on the loose ball, and on offense now, looking for his 9th point of the game. He missed the free throw. St. Francis struggled with the free throws in the first half. They've been good in the second half, and it's been a big part of how they've built this lead up. They'll get another chance from the line here as Gerner is fouled in the backcourt by Jaha Jackson. It's been a physical game, but those are the fouls that have really hurt East-West. When you have as high pressure a defense as they have, you know you're going to send the opponent to the line a fair amount of times, but those little cheapies 50 feet away from the basket that lead to 2 free throws can really cause some problems. First free throw is good from Nadav Gerner. Gerner's got 5 points. I think that's 7 now for Nadav Gerner. The second shot misses, and it's rebounded by Jaha Jackson. East-West not dead yet. They've got 2 minutes to make up a 9-point deficit. Jackson has it stolen by Gerner, but Gerner fouled him in order to get that steal. So Daquanis Jackson is going to the free throw line. 1-1 for Jackson, who's got 34 points so far in this game. He misses the front end Free throw shooting continues to haunt East-West in this second half. They've left a lot of points out there. Gerner calls timeout. They only had 2 seconds left to get it across half court, and there was nothing happening on that possession. Full court pressure from East-West continues to cause problems for St. Francis, although the Fighting Saints haven't been turning it over lately the way they were earlier this half. They had some of the subs out there that were really having problems getting it across the timeline. Just bringing the starters back on the floor. They haven't been turning it over, but the last few times they've tried to march down the court, East-West has nearly forced 10-second violations a couple of times. This time they've already used up 8 seconds before the timeout. Fighting Saints have turned it over 18 times today. That's twice as many as East-West has. And that's kept the Phantoms in the game despite the fact that they've shot only 37% compared to St. Francis's 54% shooting. Charles gets it into Anabadarte. And Nadav Gerner passes across half court to Justin Phillips. Darius Wright into Anabadarte, double teamed by Thomas. Anabadarte finds Gerner cutting underneath the basket, high off the glass and in. 9 points for Nadav Gerner, 11-point lead for St. Francis. Jackson drives on Gerner, blocked by Gerner. Anabadarte is there for the rebound. Gerner runs into Jahad Jackson, and Jackson is called for the foul. We'll send Nadav Gerner, the junior from Israel, back to the line. Another 1-and-1, actually 2 shots, sorry, for Gerner. Double bonus for St. Francis. Gerner made 1 of 2 on his last trip. Double-digit lead now with just 71 seconds left. St. Francis, barring something crazy, should be able to wrap this one up. Gerner misses the free throw. But the game has been in doubt throughout. East-West multiple times has gone down big and come back to take a lead. But free throws have been huge down the stretch for the Fighting Saints, although Gerner missed that last one. 18 of 27 from the line overall today. Most of those misses were in the first half. He makes 1 of 2. He's in double figures. Third St. Francis player behind Anabadarte, who's got 34, and Charles, who has 11. Jackson along the sideline, fires it out to Cobb. They move it around the perimeter. Here's Thomas on the runner. Off the rim, rolls it in. Fighting Saints get it into Darius Wright. Gerner dribbles towards half court and now gets it across to Wright. Final minute of play. Aitor Anabadarte along the baseline, goes up, loses the ball, gets it back, and throws it off to Justin Phillips. 13 on the shot clock for Aitor Anabadarte. Into the cutting E.J. Charles, who lays it in. 12-point game, just over 30 seconds remaining. East-West trying to add a little late offense. Jackson misses off the glass, rebounded by Gerner. Daquanis Jackson was at least trying to win the individual battle he had going with Aitor Anabadarte, but it looks like both men will finish with 34 points today, as St. Francis will dribble out the clock here. 85-73 appears to be our final score here. East-West gave it a good run. They fell down early, came back, took a lead several times in the first half. St. Francis started to pull away early in the second half. East-West came back again, reclaimed the lead, but the Fighting Saints had just a little bit more gas in the tank over the final several minutes. And St. Francis wins their 3rd consecutive game, this time taking out the Phantoms of East-West by a final score of 85-73. Aitor Anabadarte was the star of today's game. He finished with 34 points on 10 of 15 shooting, 13 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 blocks. Just a monster game from Annabeth Arte today. E.J. Charles had 13 points, 9 rebounds. Nadav Gurner chipped in with 10 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. East-West was led by Daquanis Jackson, who put together a great performance of his own. 34 points on 13 of 27 shooting, including 6 of 11 from three-point range. He also had 3 steals. Dario Biaggi had 19 points for East-West. He had some trouble shooting down the stretch, though, and he went cold at just the wrong time for the Phantoms, who as a team today shot 37% overall, 41% on threes. St. Francis finished at 55% from the field, 33% from three-point range. 85-73, our final score today. St. Francis improves their record to 14-10 overall, and now they'll return to CCAC play for the rest of the season. They'll play their 3rd consecutive home game on Wednesday evening, a 7 o'clock start time, against St. Ambrose before wrapping up the season on the road, the regular season anyway, next weekend. They could, after Wednesday, be back home again for a conference tournament game, depending on how the rest of the CCA season shakes out. But the Saints will look for their 4th consecutive win, and actually their 4th consecutive home game on Wednesday at 7 o'clock. That'll be our next broadcast of St. Francis basketball here on the USF Sports Network. That'll do it for today's game. St. Francis 85, East-West 73, our final score. Until next time, this is Terry Bonadonna signing off from the University of St. Francis. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday.